All right, let's have a real conversation, guy to guy. At some point, we've all wondered, how do I actually know if this girl is good for me? I'm not talking about surface level stuff like if she's cute or posts aesthetic photos. I mean the real deal. The kind of girl who's not just fun for a few weekends, but someone you could actually build a future with. The kind of girl who challenges you, supports you, and makes you want to be a better man without even asking for it. It's easy to get caught up in the noise, how she looks, how many followers she has, the vibe she gives off on social media. But all of that fades. Looks fade, trends change, people grow older. What doesn't fade is how she treats you, how she shows up when things aren't going great, how she talks about other people when they're not around. That's where the real green flags live. So let's forget the fake stuff for a second. Let's look deeper. Because if you notice these green flags in a girl, you're not just lucky. You're being given a chance most guys sleep on. Don't fumble it. These are the 6 best green flags in girls. Pay attention. 1. She brings you peace, not chaos. Let's start with something that might sound simple, but trust me, it's powerful. A girl who brings you peace? That's not just nice. That's rare. That's gold. And I don't mean the kind of peace where she stays quiet just to avoid an argument while secretly boiling inside. I'm talking about real peace. The kind where you can take off your armor, where you're not bracing for mood swings, walking on eggshells, or decoding every message like it's written in code. You feel safe, understood, and fully yourself. She makes you calm, not because life is perfect, but because she knows how to handle imperfection with maturity. She doesn't blow up over small things. She doesn't guilt trip you, go cold for 3 days, or expect you to read her mind. She speaks up. She listens. She handles conflict like a grown woman, not like a ticking time bomb. I remember one time, I came home completely drained. Bad day, phone blowing up, everything just heavy. I didn't even say much. I just dropped my bag and sat down. She looked at me, didn't ask 20 questions, and didn't take it personally. She just made me a cup of tea, sat next to me, and said, "I've got you." That moment did more for me than any pep talk ever could. That's peace. The problem is, too many guys confuse chaos with passion. She yells, storms out, blocks you, then unblocks you with a flirty message. And somehow you think, this must be love. No, man, that's not love. That's emotional whiplash. That's trauma bonding. You don't need someone who stirs the storm. You need someone who calms it. Someone who adds, not drains. Who gives you space to breathe, not anxiety to manage. So if you meet a girl who makes your mind quieter and your heart lighter, pay attention. That's not boring. That's healthy. That's what real love feels like. She's not a test. She's a blessing. Don't overlook that. 2, she has strong morals, even when no one's watching. Let's be honest. Anyone can act right when there's an audience. Anyone can play nice when they're trying to impress you. But the real question is, who is she when no one's around? When it's just her, her thoughts, and a decision to make. A girl with strong morals stands out because she doesn't need external validation to do the right thing. She's not out here trying to craft a perfect image for Instagram. She's not acting kind just to collect likes or praise. She just is that way. That's who she is when the cameras are off and the filters are gone. She doesn't lie just because it's easier. She doesn't trash talk her friends the moment they leave the room. She doesn't cheat on a test or take what's not hers, even if she knows she'd never get caught. Her values aren't a show. They're real. They run deep. I remember a time I was out with someone, and the cashier gave us back too much change. It wasn't a huge amount, just a few extra bills. Before I could even say anything, she noticed it, turned right back around and returned the money. No big speech. No need for attention. Just a quiet, honest moment. And I remember thinking, that's the kind of person I can trust. Because if she's honest in the little things, she'll be honest in the big ones. If she treats a stranger with respect, she'll treat you with respect, especially when it really counts. That kind of integrity is rare, especially now, when so much of what we see is curated and filtered and done for show. In a world full of mixed signals and hidden motives, a woman like that is a blessing. She's solid. She's consistent. When life gets tough, and it will You want someone by your side whose values don't change with the crowd. That's not just a green flag. That's a full-on billboard. 3. She supports you, not just when it's easy. Let's be real. Anyone can cheer you on when you're winning. When you're hitting the gym hard and making progress. When your business is growing. When you're stacking wins. Yeah, of course people want to be around for that. It's easy to show love when everything looks shiny. But life isn't always highlights and success stories. What about when you're struggling? When money's tight, you're feeling stuck, confused, and maybe even doubting yourself. That's when the crowd thins out. That's when you find out who's really in your corner. A girl who supports you when things aren't going your way? That's something special. She doesn't just vanish when you're not at your best. She doesn't switch up when life humbles you. She stays. She shows up, not just for the celebrations, but for the silent battles too. I remember there was a time I was at a really low point, broke, frustrated, questioning everything. I wasn't much fun to be around. But the girl I was with then didn't flinch. She didn't try to fix it all, but she didn't run either. She stayed present. She asked questions. She reminded me that I wasn't alone. That stuck with me more than any gift or grand gesture ever could. Sometimes it's the little things that mean the most. A message just to check in. A look that says, I see you, even when you're not saying much. A soft reminder that you're more than your worst day. That's what real support looks like. She doesn't laugh at your dreams, even the ones that sound crazy. She doesn't treat your setbacks like signs to walk away. She sees the version of you you're fighting to become, and she believes in it. That kind of loyalty, that kind of quiet strength, it's rare. If you find a girl who's got your back when life's heavy, that's not just a green flag. That's someone you build with. Don't overlook that. 4. She's kind to people who can't do anything for her. If you really want to know what someone's like deep down, not just a version they post on Instagram or the one they show when everything's going great, pay attention to how they treat people who have nothing to offer them. Does she say thank you to the waiter, even if the food took forever? Does she smile at the cleaner in her building or greet the security guard like he matters? Does she include the shy girl in class who barely speaks up? That's not just about manners, that's character. That's who she is when there's no spotlight on her. It's easy to be nice when you're trying to impress someone, when the cameras are on and there's something to gain. But kindness that's quiet, kindness that shows up when there's no reward, that's real. That's when you know it's not an act. It's just her nature. I remember once being with someone who didn't just treat me well. She treated everyone well. One day, we were out and she noticed an old man struggling to carry his groceries. She walked over, no hesitation, and helped him to his car. She didn't look around to see if anyone was watching. She just did it like it was second nature. That moment stuck with me. It told me more about her than any deep conversation ever could. Because here's the thing, life isn't always smooth. There will be days you're not at your best. You might lose your job. You might go through something that shakes your confidence. And in those moments, you need someone who sees your worth, not just your use. A girl who's kind to strangers is usually someone who'll be kind to you when life gets hard. She won't throw your flaws in your face. She'll give you patience. She'll give you grace. That's not just a good girlfriend. That's the kind of woman you build a life with. Green flag? No doubt. 5. She has her own life and ambitions. Let's be real. Clinginess might seem cute or flattering at first, especially when you're just getting to know someone. It feels nice to be wanted, to have someone excited to talk to you all the time. But let's not kid ourselves. It gets old fast. There's a big difference between someone who enjoys your company and someone who makes you their entire purpose for existing. That kind of pressure, it doesn't feel like love. It feels like a burden. Now, picture this instead. A girl who genuinely has her own life. She's focused. She's driven. She's studying hard to build her future, chasing a career she's passionate about, or maybe learning something new just for fun of it, like photography or coding, or maybe she's leading a project at work or starting a small business on the side. She's proud of what she's building. She's not just existing. She's growing. She's not blowing up your phone every 5 minutes asking where you are or what you're doing. Not because she doesn't care, but because she's got her own goals, her own plans, and her own peace. And when she does text you, it's meaningful. It's thoughtful. You feel it. That's powerful. Because when you both have your own thing going on, you create space to grow separately while supporting each other. That's not codependency. That's partnership. That's mutual respect. That's balance. You also notice something else. She values her time. She respects your space. She's not insecure or constantly fishing for reassurance. She knows her worth, and that quiet confidence, it draws you in without even trying. And the best part? Watching her go after her dreams doesn't just impress you. It motivates you. It inspires you to level up too. Without even saying it, she pushes you to be better. That's not just attractive. That's rare. That's a green flag you don't ignore. That's relationship gold. 6. She makes you want to be better. Let's talk about one of the rarest, most powerful green flags out there. A girl who inspires you to level up. And no, I don't mean someone who pressures you or constantly points out your flaws. I'm talking about the kind of influence that's subtle but strong. The kind that makes you pause and think, I want to do better, not because I have to, but because I want to. Maybe she wakes up early and crushes her to-do list, and you start rethinking those lazy mornings. Maybe she's been consistent with her fitness or mindful about her health, and suddenly that daily fast food run doesn't hit the same. Maybe it's the way she handles conflict, calm, patient, respectful, and you start reflecting on your own reactions. She doesn't nag you. She doesn't guilt trip you. She just leads by example. And that quiet strength, it makes you want to grow. You feel it in how you carry yourself, how you think, and how you approach life. That's the kind of woman who turns a relationship into a partnership. Someone who builds with you, not just takes from you. Someone who makes your life richer, not in money, but in purpose. She doesn't just make your days better. She makes you better. And you start to realize that this isn't just about having a cute date for Friday night. This is someone you could actually build a future with. Someone you'd be proud to grow alongside. And trust me, when you find someone like that, don't let her go. That's not just a green flag. That's a whole emerald mine. Final thoughts. Let's be honest. A lot of guys, maybe even you at some point, have chased girls who are all red flags wrapped in pretty packaging. She's unpredictable, but it feels exciting. She's dramatic, but the chemistry is wild. At first, it feels like a movie, but give it time that thrill, it turns into emotional exhaustion. You're left stressed, second-guessing everything, and wondering why love feels more like survival than joy. That's why green flags matter. They're not loud. They don't come with fireworks or chaos, but they last. They bring peace. They make you feel safe and seen. And when life throws its punches, which it will, you want someone calm the storm, not someone adding fuel to the fire. Look for the girl who makes your life lighter, not heavier. Who supports your dreams, not drains your energy. Who's kind, consistent, and carries herself with values. She won't be perfect, no one is, but she'll be real. And real is rare. So if you come across a girl who checks even a few of these boxes, don't sleep on it. Don't play the cool guy card. Be honest. Be intentional. Ask her out and see where it leads. And if she hasn't crossed your path yet, use this time to become the kind of man who'd naturally attract her. Build your discipline. Stay focused. Lead with character. Love that lasts isn't about chasing. It's about becoming. She's out there. But peace doesn't chase noise. So don't settle for chaos just because it's familiar. Wait for the kind of connection that calms your soul. And when you find it, hold on tight. You deserve that. Never forget it.